Hello, if you're a pharmacist in your own country or any other country outside the UK and you want to practice in the UK as a pharmacist, you are the right place because I'll give you all the step-by-step details, everything you need to know in order to register in the UK as a pharmacist. My name is Benita. I'm a pharmacist practicing in the UK. I first graduated as a pharmacist in Nigeria before I processed my documents, and here I am today practicing here in the UK. In my own time, it was not an easy journey trying to find information on the internet. I searched YouTube. There was not much information on YouTube as at that time, back then before 2020, around that time. I couldn't find information anywhere. I literally went to people's DM, people I knew then that were living in the UK. They were not even studying pharmacy at the time. Like, do they know any pharmacists, anybody that can guide me? Because all the questions I had, there was no one to answer them. And you know, as somebody that is looking to go into something new, it's always a challenge trying to find people in that category. At some point, I had to join WhatsApp groups, Telegram groups, but it was just like the blind leading the blind because none of us knew what we were doing. It was just based on hearsay. I heard this, I know that. Nobody was really sure. So, but now in 2025, you don't have to do all those things. You don't have to go through all those things because someone that has gone through the process will be here to guide you and will give you every details I know as far as I'm concerned. So I don't want you to struggle like I did because it was not an easy experience for me. So the first thing first is to get registered with the GPhC. So the GPhC is the council responsible for regulating pharmacy students, pharmacy affairs, anything pharmacy in the UK. It's GPhC that regulates it. So GPhC stands for General Pharmaceutical Council. So you're going to register with them. It's just like the first thing is like emailing them, telling them your interest. So they will kind of open a folder for you. So in this folder, they will be storing all your documents. You gather all your documents. They will store it for you. When it's complete, they will email you a payment link. You make payments, and once they receive this payment, they will process your documents. If it's complete, if they qualify you or say you're eligible, then you'll be able to apply to different universities that offer the program, and you will do your course. So it is a 1-year course or thereabouts. You have to go through the university just to learn their own system, their laws, their ethics, how pharmacy operates in the UK. So it's basically different from every country. So for you to practice in the UK, you have to go through that system. And the first thing first is to register with GPhC so that they can assess if you are eligible to study that conversion course and become a pharmacist in the UK. So it's not a long process. If you have all your documents at hand, like depending on when you start preparing, it's something you can do within 1 year. Mine didn't take me more than 1 year. I did mine in less than 1 year. I already got my space in the university. So there are 10 documents you will need based on how I summarized it. If you need extra documents because of your individual circumstances, then that will be entirely different. But for now, there are basically 10 documents that you need to submit to GPhC for them to start processing your applications. Number 1 is the English language test. So you can do the IELTS or you can do OET. When I did mine, it was just the IELTS, academic IELTS, which is a lot difficult to pass because people don't usually pass in the first, second attempt. But now, thankfully, they've introduced OET as well. So you can do OET, which, people say it's easier. I've not written OET before, so I can't really attest to that. But from what I've heard, it's easier to pass than the IELTS. So in case you've been doing IELTS for so long, you can try OET and see if it will help you get to where you want to go to. So for IELTS, you have to get a minimum of 7 on each of the English, writing, speaking, listening, and I've forgotten the third one, but it's been a long time anyway, so pardon me. And also the OET, you have to score a B in each of the 4 modules. So that's that for IELTS. Once the result is ready, you're going to send them a copy of it. Also, they will need your degree certificate to be assessed as something that is equal to UK's bachelor's degree. So you're going to do assessments of comparability. The people is ENIC, so you have to pay them, send in your copy of your degree certificate. They have to assess it and give you a report. So with that report, you send it to the GPhC. They can now know if your degree is equivalent to a UK's bachelor's degree. So that's the second document. The third one is a copy of your bachelor's degree certificate. So you send them a copy. During my time, it was the original you have to send. So I remember sending my degree certificate came to the UK before me. I was so scared, and I mean, I didn't want to lose it in transit and all that. I didn't sleep until I got that document back, because imagine losing your degree certificate. What will you be doing in this world? So, but thankfully now I think they've reduced that risk by just letting you email the copy of your degree certificate. Also, they need some documents to be sent directly from the issuing body. So like your transcript, you need a copy of your transcript to be sent by the school. So they can send it via post or via email, whichever one. They won't accept it from you as an applicant, but only the school can send it. Also, they need 2 reference letters. One from your academic, one will be an academic reference, which can either be your supervisor, your lecturer, anybody that can give you an academic reference is fine. And the other reference is employer. So your most recent employer will need to give you a reference as well. So when I did mine, because I had career breaks, I had the child, had baby, got married, everything was just happening, so I didn't have anyone to give me that employer reference. So but they accepted 2 academic references. So academic reference is a must. So even if you have not been employed, or you've not even started working, or for whatever reason you can't get employment reference letter, you can give them 2 academic references, but you have to let them know. So most times GPhC is not very they are not after your life. They are very subtle, and once you reach out to them, they are very good with communication. Let them know what your challenges are, let them know your situation. Most times they will always find a way or grant you pardon. So that's one thing I like about GPhC. They are very friendly, very open to communication, and once you email them, they will always give you a reply back. I mean, as soon as they can anyway. So another thing you will need is letter of good standing from your regulatory body in the country you qualified. So for instance, I qualified in Nigeria. I had to get a letter of good standing from PCN. So they will issue it directly to the council as well. You won't have to do it yourself. You just let PCN know, pay the required fee, and they will send the letter of good standing to GPhC. And that's it. If you are registered in more than 2 health regulatory bodies, then you also need letter of good standing from each of those bodies. For instance, if you're a pharmacist and you're also a nurse or in another medical council, so that council will also issue them a letter of good standing, just to show that, I mean, you're a good person. You're not a criminal, and you don't have any bad thing on your record, basically. So that's what that one is all about. So these 3 documents I just mentioned, they have to send it directly to GPhC, not you. Then other documents I'm about to mention, these ones you have to get them certified by either a notary public, a solicitor. There are different lists of those that can certify documents on the GPhC website, so you can go and have a read. But these documents, for you to send it to them, you have to get it certified by these people I just mentioned. So a copy of your data page of your international passports, you get it certified. Your birth certificate or affidavit, whatever you use to represent your birthday, you send it to them if you don't have a birth certificate. You're also going to send in an application form. So this application form, you have to fill everything, all the section that concerns you. You have to fill it. If you don't fill the section that relates to you, they're going to email you to provide that information. So during my own time, I filled everything, but when it came to employment gap or so, some of the gaps were, I think 1 year or so were missing. They had to email me, like, what happened between so and so period, can you let us know? And that was when I was on maternity leave, so I wasn't working. I just replied them with the details of what happened with it. So they want from the moment you graduated to the point of applying for that OSPAP program, you have to list everything you've been doing. You mustn't be working, but just if it's a career break like mine, it was maternity leave, family life, I wasn't working. So just explain what happened from here to here. They want to follow it chronologically to know how you've come about since you graduated. You also need 2 countersigned passports, so just your normal passport photograph. The solicitor, whoever that is signing your document, will need to sign at the back just to say that this is a true likeness of you, so they can know what you look like. So that's what you need to apply to GPhC in order to get started for the OSPAP program. So when they receive all these documents and it's complete, they will now email you a payment link to make a payment of £739 as at making this video in 2025. So it can increase, I don't know, but now this when mine I paid about 600 and something pounds, but it has increased. So just to check when you are doing yours what the price is, and that fee is non-refundable. Even if you are not eligible, even if you don't qualify, they are not going to refund you, because that is like an application fee. So they will use it to process your document, and they're not going to touch anything until you pay that fee. So when everything is done and you are eligible, they're going to send you an eligibility letter. This eligibility letter is what you use to apply to different universities. Although they will also inform the universities that you selected in that application form, they will also inform them that you're eligible to do this OSPAP course. So once that is done, you are now free to choose your university, apply to them, and follow what they are doing. So the university course is roughly from September to June. If you are doing the PGD, there are just 4 universities that does the OSPAP course. So 3 of them PGD. I think University of Sunderland also does PGD and masters as well. So the PGD is from September to June. If you are doing masters, that means you'll do from September to October the next year. I did the masters for God knows why, but that's what I did. It's more expensive than the PGD, and right now there is no much benefit to doing it, except you just want to have that MSc title to your name. But if you don't care about MSc, you can just do the PGD, do your conversion course, and start doing your foundation training. So, but before you do the OSPAP course, there are also things that you need to know, and this is relating to the foundation program. So the foundation program is what you do after the foundation course. That one is a 1-year full-time job. So I'll be telling you things you need to do even before you start the OSPAP, so you can get a placement for your foundation program. I'll discuss that in my next video, and I hope you will subscribe to keep in touch and know when I release that next video. See you next time. Bye.